Thanks, Matt. Now, a grieving mother who believes her daughter died in suspicious circumstances could now face prosecution unless she deletes a highly critical review into police actions, which this programme reported last year. Danielle Charters-Christie was found dead inside the Gloucestershire caravan that she shared with her partner, who'd been accused of domestic abuse. Police swiftly declared it was a suicide. Caroline Charters didn't agree. An external review found serious shortcomings in the investigation into Danielle's death, and it's that document she's now under pressure to destroy. Amelia Jen reports.
I believe that my daughter deserves justice. I do want accountability, and my daughter deserves, and my children, my other living children, deserve to know the truth. They're just trying to threaten and intimidate me.
Okay, ready to get going.
We met Caroline last year. She spoke publicly for the first time about the sudden death of her 25-year-old daughter Danielle and a damning review of the police investigation into it. 6 months on, the force are now threatening to prosecute her if she doesn't destroy her copy of that review, the closest she says she's ever been to accountability, because of what they say is a data breach. The night before Danielle's death, classed by police within an hour to be suicide by hanging, her partner had discovered she was seeing another man. Convinced that the partner had something to do with her daughter's death, Caroline begged Gloucestershire Police to investigate. It was, she alleges, an abusive and toxic relationship that Danielle wanted to leave.
One officer said, "We're going to have to agree to disagree, Caroline. Your daughter committed suicide."
It wasn't until more than a year after Danielle's death that her partner was arrested on suspicion of her murder, but not charged. The police citing a lack of evidence and an unrealistic prospect of conviction. No further action was taken. An external review Caroline then fought for discovered multiple failings in the initial investigation that made it impossible to prove or disprove third-party involvement because evidence hadn't been collected.
You cannot go back and lock that scene down. The golden hour has gone.
And so when in February a Gloucestershire police officer sent her this text to discuss or share some new information, she was hopeful.
I thought they'd discovered something new about my daughter, some new piece of evidence that had become available. Obviously I spoke it through with, my friends, and they said, "Oh, no, it sounds really quite good. This might be something really important to do with you, with your daughter." They were very insistent, and they turned up on the night before my son's birthday.
Instead, 2 officers had driven across the country to tell her in person that she must delete that review, or that she may face prosecution because of data breaches within it that the force itself was responsible for. Then an email reply sent by Gloucestershire Police a fortnight ago further raised the risk of prosecution for Caroline, stating that if action were to be taken against her, it would focus on an offence under the Data Protection Act.
It is an offence for a person knowingly or recklessly, after obtaining personal data, to retain it without consent.
And now you're being told that if you don't give it back and delete it, you could face criminal prosecution.
Yes. Anyone would think that I'm the criminal here. I am just trying to get answers for my daughter.
For bereaved families, a right to review is critical for transparency. It can tell you why key decisions were made in an investigation, and it can also open further routes to justice. And yet here we have the very force that's commissioned one telling a bereaved mother to delete it or face prosecution.
The victim's right to review document was handed to Caroline last June. We've redacted some detail. It was listed as not protectively marked and discovered a litany of issues with the investigation into her daughter's case, including the failure to conduct any forensic examination of the caravan where Danielle and her partner lived and where her body was found. The partner had disposed of it by the time he was questioned more than a year later. It also found no effort was made to conduct a forensic examination of Danielle's body for signs of trauma. It found too that Danielle's partner's father was granted permission to transfer her body to a morgue in his capacity as an undertaker after making a comment at the scene that he wanted to be the one to bag her up, something Caroline describes as completely inappropriate. The external review concluded evidence that could point towards or against third-party involvement in Danielle's death is simply not available and not ever likely to become available. There are several unanswered questions that cannot and will not ever be answered. None of these findings are in the short outcome letter the force has given Caroline to replace the full 74-page review. Instead, that 6-page letter has little to no detail about the case, concluding there was not enough evidence to charge Danielle's partner, but doesn't set out any of the investigative failings. We've tried to contact Danielle's former partner many times, but have received no response. As part of our reporting on this last year, the force's Assistant Chief Constable invited Channel 4 News to its headquarters.
When we look back at that with the benefit of hindsight, it is clear that there have been evidential opportunities that have not been taken. Caroline has had to campaign and had to challenge the organisation and the force quite extensively, and no one should have to go through that.
We asked Gloucestershire Police whether, amongst other things, they considered this was an appropriate use of police time, and they told us,
The review contained third-party sensitive data, a breach that is now being formally investigated by the Information Commissioner's Office. We are sorry for our oversight, which we recognise has caused additional upset to Danielle's family. We have a legal duty to protect those whose information we inadvertently released. We hand-delivered this letter in February, as we felt it was important she had a face-to-face explanation.
I'm just absolutely appalled at the way that they're treating a grieving member of the public. So they've actually been on telly and admitted these failings, and yet they're turning it round on me now and trying to come after me. These are the people that are supposed to protect you. These are the people that you're supposed to turn to, when you're in danger, when you're in need.
It's palpable speaking to you how much stress this has given you.
To be honest with you, I don't think I've even started to grieve for my daughter yet, because it's been such a fight. I've been living in fight and flight mode for the last 4 years now.
this year, the year Danielle would have turned 30, her mother is still fighting for answers.
A Home Office spokesperson told Channel 4 News that it would expect to see police using their resources to pursue perpetrators and protect victims from harm. After the break, reunited after 30 years, we speak to the actors Ralph Fiennes and Juliette Binoche about their emotional on-screen reunion.